Hey, welcome to another episode of the Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. Before we get into this segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dole would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment, so if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. I do have a job, but any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. And more important, let us help you help us by introducing you to a program. There's a link down below that says Equal Justice for All. You're going to click that video link and there's some educational tutorial about a phenomenal program in America that is really making equal justice a reality for every citizen. So this program is phenomenal. The proceeds from you participating in the program will go back, 10% will go back into the Bob TV YouTube channel. So anyway, my name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Let's get into it. This guy Julian Assange. I just did a Freedom on Fire episode about Julian Assange, and I want to know, where are the journalists out here? Every journalist need to be out here advocating for this man who is a journalist. This man has done more than 1,000 journalists combined. This man reported news that should have never ever been, that they tried to cover up. See, what the problem is today is a lot of journalists are punks. They don't investigate. They make up stuff. They let their owners give them the talking points and they put it all in the paper. A lot of them, not all of them, but a bunch of you are punks. And I'm not even a journalist, and I can do a better job than you, as Jimmy Dole would say. Bunch of punks. You don't take time to investigate. That's why I shout out to Jordan Sheridan. Go give money to Status Quo, because they out there in the field doing journalism. Investigation. They'll call it out when they see it. Unlike the Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos. I got to shut up around here because there's some Amazon fire sticks and phones around here, and he owns all that. He can listen to your conversations if you want to. Matter of fact, you guys got to go look at that. That's the study I'm going to do, because all these people buying all these Amazon devices, and I just bought one the other day, come to find out, a lot of them are built in with Alexa, and Alexa have the ability not just to hear you, but they have the ability, I mean, not for you to tell them something and they hear it. They have the ability to hear you and whatever you're doing in your house. So Big Brother is in your house with these Alexa devices, these Google home devices. Just like you can speak to it and it can give you access to the World Wide Web and the music and all that kind, it can listen into your household. Proof is in the listening. If you ever said something to it and it heard you, that means it picked up your conversation. Now, I want to get off that. I said that because Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos, and Jeff Bezos don't even give his journalists an opportunity to do true investigation because he's afraid they're going to investigate him. Now, my thing is, where are the journalists? Now, the people are upset and the people are starting to demonstrate now. Where's the journalists? Because if they do that to him, they're going to do this to you. People are taking it to the streets, man. They're not playing. Now, it's not a big numbers, it's a start. Well, let's get into this, because we get so-called game-changing candidates running for office, people who claim to be revolutionists, not saying a doggone thing about it. Mums is a word. They're going full-blown Elizabeth Warren. When you need them to say something, they're not there. Yet, on the other hand, Tulsi Gabbard, she went and said something. Now, I'm going to talk about that a little later. But she did mention, she stood out strong against this mess. You're going to take a journalist and you're going to charge the journalist as if he committed the crime. Really? Really?
This morning, Julian Assange is gearing up for a fight, waiting to find out if he'll be sent to the U.S. to face charges. On Thursday, the handcuffed Assange giving a thumbs up and winking at cameras as he entered a London courtroom. Despite a not guilty plea, a judge quickly convicted him of skipping bail, calling him a narcissist who cannot get beyond his own selfish interests. WikiLeaks founder shouting and struggling as he was dragged out of the Ecuadorian embassy in Britain, where he had holed up for 7 years after that country revoked his asylum. Ecuador's president accusing Assange of discourteous and aggressive behavior, the move clearing the way for a U.S. extradition request. The Justice Department unsealing an indictment Thursday accusing Assange of conspiracy with former Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning to hack into a Pentagon computer. Assange's lawyers are vowing to fight.
It is unacceptable that a publisher be extradited to face prosecution in the United States for publishing truthful information, and no democratic government should be seeking to prosecute a publisher for that, and nor should any other democratic government extradite a publisher for doing that.
WikiLeaks released hundreds of thousands of classified documents on the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan in 2010, embarrassing the U.S. government. The group also behind the release of emails hacked from the Democratic National Committee in 2016.
The bottom line is he has to answer for what he has done, at least as it's been charged.
Then candidate Trump praised
All right, I can't wait. I can't do it. All right, so they're extraditing this guy. They're kicking him out. Mainly the Ecuadorian president is a little scared of this dude. He allowed them to come in and take him. And then as soon as they get out, they're going to charge him for skipping bail. How am I skipping bail, dude? I'm in an asylum. So immediately they're going to trump up charges on this guy to try to get him locked up. And now they're going to work to try to get this guy extradited. And then Hillary, whatever her name is, got the nerves to say this. Let me go back, because this lady, man, oh, God, help me.
Emails hacked from the Democratic National Committee in 2016.
The bottom line is...
Now, understand this. He did not hack those emails. He didn't even conspire with Chelsea. Who conspires to get information to report it? She got the information. She saw it. She gave it to him. There's no conspiracy in that. Nobody conspired to do that. He's doing what he's normally do. Somebody give me information on something to expose the horrors in our government or the horrors in our corporate system. I expose it because I'm a journalist. That is my job. This is what I do. And I give the information out. I leak it out. I'm a journalist. I am a reporter. I'm supposed to report this stuff. I'm supposed to have some protections to do this. And it's all right to those who it benefits. They're actually going to say this man conspired with Chelsea Manning to do this. And then this woman right here got the nerve to say he need to answer for his crimes. What crime, Hillary Clinton, that he done? You want to talk about crimes? You really want to talk about crimes? You really want to talk about crime, how you shape shift and you pretty much money laundered all the Democratic Party DNC money from the down ballot, defunding them to fund your campaign to try to defeat Trump. And in not winning, they didn't win because you took all the money from them. You want to talk about a crime? You want to talk about crime? How about you, John Podesta, Nero 10, and Robbie Muke, and all those other numbnuts conspiring to kind of stick it to Bernie Sanders in the election? You pretty much bailed the DNC out because they didn't have no money, and you took over as the empire president. And you called the shots from the top all the way to the bottom, and that's why you felt so confident that I'm winning, it's in the bag, I'm winning, I got more votes, blah, 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 blah. And your butt still lost to that clown. And you blame the loss because WikiLeaks spilled the beans on you. All they did was spill the beans on how you and your cohorts, Debbie Wasserman Schultz and all them numbnuts, rigged the election. You rigged the Democratic primary, a process in the presidential election. And you had to try to deflect that and come up with this Russia crap when it really was you and your cohorts that did this. And you using Russia as a scapegoat for how sorry of a candidate you are. And as a result of your narcissism and your foolishness and your trickery, the bottom line is you lost. And now you're going to say he need to pay for this, the crimes that he did. The bottom line, he didn't commit no crime, but boy, did you.
He has to answer for what he has done, at least as it's been charged.
Then candidate Trump praised WikiLeaks on the campaign trail.
WikiLeaks, I love WikiLeaks.
But now the president's saying,
I know nothing about WikiLeaks. It's not my thing.
Assange's.
Oh, you know nothing about him, but you were happy to have him on because he was helping you win the nomination. And when he really wasn't trying to help anybody win a nomination, he was just reporting the information that was given to him. That was his job. Unlike the other reporters who can't do that job because their bosses pretty much control what they can put out on paper or on TV or not.
Supporters say he's a journalist and whistleblower, calling his arrest an attack on free speech.
Contribute to the Bob TV, $1, $2, $3 into my PayPal account. I think I deserve a cup of coffee every now and then. Anyway, let me stop. That was my plug. Let me get back to serious business, okay? I want to take this off because this is really irritating me. This is supposed to help me monitor my sound and it ain't working. So excuse me. All right, so the bottom line is this. They've been conspiring to find some way to get this guy out of that embassy. He's been in there a long time, 11 years. And I'm quite sure they're conspiring to find some way to give Russia to give up Edwin Snowden, but Russia ain't gonna go to it. Now, I wished, because you know Julian Assange helped Snowden get to Russia. I wish Julian Assange would have went to Russia, but that would have made the Russian case even more against him, because if he would have went to Russia instead of Ecuador, it's a catch-22. If he went to Russia instead of Ecuador, then they would say, yeah, he was being used by the Russians to meddle in our elections. Catch-22, I'm telling you. Again, WikiLeaks is an organization that's funded by the people to do whistleblowing, to blow the whistle on corruption no matter where it's at. Whether it's from your local government to your higher level government or corporation, it doesn't matter. And Julian Assange is great at that. Matter of fact, it's his organization. All he do is report. So what they're going to try to do is not only go after him, but go after the whole organization to shut them down. And we need this organization to shed light on the crookedness of our governments and our corporations. We need them. They are patriots. They are the common man's best friend because they report the news the way it is. Whatever's being covered, they bring into light. And that's what happened with Chelsea Manning. Chelsea saw something that was covered up. She brought it to light. Gave it to him, he reported. Now everybody know how evil the United States government can be, all because he reported it. And other things that he reported. Whistleblowers, like the Pentagon paper, we need whistleblowers. Like the Watergate, we need whistleblowers. We need Julian Assange, and we need millions like him. How in the world are you going to say this man gets some information from Guccifer, who nobody know where Guccifer really came from? They say he's a Romanian hacker, has nothing to do with Russia, and gave him information. They said, and I'll say it boldly up here, I get the funding. They say Self-Rich gave it to him. It doesn't matter who gave it to him. The bottom line is, if they find out you're going to leak some information, they're going to try to shut you down. So you got to get it to him as fast as he can. And he's trying to be secret about who gives him the information because he wanted to encourage more people to give him the information to be transparent about world affairs, good or bad. And yet, right now, people who call themselves revolutionists have gone full-blown Elizabeth Warren. You know what I call Elizabeth Warren? Late Liz. Don't want to say anything about nothing until it benefits her. And right now, Bernie Sanders ain't saying nothing about this situation because it don't benefit him. Just like he won't say anything about reparations because it won't benefit him. He ain't gonna say nothing about Julian Assange being pulled away from the embassy on a bummed up, dumb charge to be persecuted by the British government. Hopefully to transfer him to the United States so they could put him in jail and persecute him and torture him or whatever. And then Hillary Clinton got the nerve to say something. Shut up, lady. Shut up. You're one of the most crookedest people on the face of this planet. You got the nerves to talk about he need to answer for what he did wrong. No, you need to answer for what you did wrong. Because nobody is going to stop talking about the 2016 election. Nobody's going to stop talking about that. Bunch of crooks, man. Bunch of crooks. Rig here, rig there. I'm winning. The only person that stood up, and I'm going to talk about this, she gets her own segment, is Tulsi Gabbard. Once again, Tulsi Gabbard showed herself very presidential, very understanding of the situation, and vote the real concerns of the situation. Freedom of speech, using the justice system as a tool of abuse, because that's what this is. We're using the justice system as a tool of abuse. Ecuador uses it as a tool of abuse. The Ecuadorian president did it. Prime Minister of United Kingdom doing it. And we're ready to do it. So our article said that it's highly likely that the Swedish charges would stick to Julian Assange. Washington, D.C. want to charge him for hacking, conspiracy charges. It's a WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange, was arrested Thursday to face a U.S. charge that he conspired to hack military computers after Ecuador's government ended the 7 years of self-imposed exile and expelled him from its London embassy. So somehow, some way, the Trump-led government turned their back on Julian Assange, who he said he loved, and they all came up with charges that he conspired to hack military computers. Like he can hack. He conspired. Police in the United Kingdom dragged Assange from the front door of the embassy. Y'all saw that. Say in the indictment revealed Thursday morning, U.S. authorities say Assange conspired with former Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning to steal and publish huge troves of classified documents. He conspired. So now the journalists conspire to go against the government. So that means you're going to say any journalist who tries to get information on a corrupt company, tries to get information on a corrupt government or a corrupt leader, that he conspired with the person who got that information, and that's a crime. The person who's corrupt is not a criminal, but the person who got the information on the corrupt person and leaked it is the criminal. How in the hell are you going to expect to be a transparent government when we can't have people do their job to expose the things that are covered up in that government? You don't want transparency. You're just talking out your mouth. That's why I don't believe nothing these politicians say. You got to show me that you did it before. You got to show me that you're doing it now before I can believe you're doing it in the future. Because most of them are a bunch of hacks. You're going to charge this man for hacking, a reporter for hacking, all because somebody gave him information. They hacked the computers and gave him the information that needed to be reported on. So I guess if I'm a drug dealer and I hand my weed over to the cops, or the cops take the weed out my pocket, they should go to jail for possession too, right? They should, because that's what you're saying right here. I'm selling drugs. You see me selling drugs. You roll up on me. You throw me on the ground. You pat me on my pants. You pull out weed in my pocket. I go to jail for selling and possessing. Why you can't go to jail for possessing? Because you now hold the drugs in your hand. Just because you're a cop don't mean you ain't going to take it and smoke it. So that's what the government is doing with this stupid case, man. They pulling Julian Assange for reporting information that was hacked. And all he doing was taking the information from the hack. He didn't hack it. And reporting the dirty deeds of our government. And not just our government, but a lot of other government, corporations, politicians, you name it, business leaders. Something that's good so they can put them in jail. Now, here's the real deal. They want to strike fear in anybody who will expose the elite. Anybody who exposes corporations for the wrong things they do to their workers or to their clients. Anything that they don't want them to, they don't want you, the government, to know about the horrible things they do in the prison system, the horrible things they do in military combat, the horrible things they do when it comes to doing business affairs or trade agreements. Anybody who wants to report on that, you better hope to God that when we do wrong, if somehow somebody exposes us and let you know about it and you report it, you toast. It's over for you. You going to jail, and if need be, we're going to torture the hell out of you. Dude, I mean, people, you need to stand up against this. I'm doing my part to stand up against it. This is wrong, 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 wrong. That's why Tulsi Gabbard was at the top of this thing telling the truth. That's why my hats go out for, that's why I said, if any Democratic I'm going to vote for, it'll be her. Because she haven't missed the mark yet. And she's bold to stand up against this foolishness. Yet those who all they care about, now don't get me wrong, because I know you Bernie crats out there, you're going to get upset. Get upset as you may. You can go out there and preach Medicare for all, preach no-cost education, preach low-cost prescription, preach reform the prison. You can preach all this domestic stuff, but you can't say nothing about this. I want a bold, fired up, unaccounted for, unaccountable, willing to risk it all politician. That's who I want. I don't want no tippy-toe person, little punk scared to say something. I don't want that person. I want somebody bold and brass and just nip it in the bud. It don't matter what it is. Jeremy Corbyn started to tiptoe, but I think he did finally say something about it. I want a real bold brass politician that's going to stand up against these corporate elites, these military elites, these government elites, and call them all out. I don't need no punk politician that's doing the tippy-toe around issues. And right now, in this situation, Bernie Sanders is tippy-toe. Now, let me stop before I go. All right, this is Bernie Kratz feeling burned as Sanders keep mum on Assange's arrest. This was 10:55 yesterday, and it was edited right now. All right, yep, it say the supporters of U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders holds a place card at the DNC Convention 2016, but not for sale. But it seemed like Bernie is silent on this situation. So to this date, Bernie Sanders have not said anything. All right, somebody kill a can. Where are you on Julian Assange? Come clean, Bernie. We have a right to know where you stand on freedom of the press. I cannot support a candidate that chooses to become complicit in the dismantle of our First Amendment. All right, Kelvin Calvino said, Tulsi did, thankfully. I hope Bernie follows. And that's when Tulsi made the statement about Julian Assange. This is a slippery slope, as Tulsi Gabbard said, and this need to be dealt with. This need to be talked about on social media. This need to be blowing up. We need to be at news media. But this is wrong, and we got too many people tippy-toeing, people who claim to be strong and strong for America and claim to be the best thing to battle against Trump. How you going to go against Trump? This man who don't care about nothing, who will say anything, anytime, anywhere, and don't care, and his base love that, when we got somebody who claimed to be a revolutionist, that's mum. Mum is the word on this. Silent. Zip, zip. He's unzipping and flipping, won't say nothing. Well, you got to be careful about what he say. This ain't the time to be careful. A man was pulled out of the embassy over some trumped up charges, and America has charged this man with hacking, and they're going to try to get him to come here for something that he had nothing to do with. But yet, the person who wanted the drone strike him, you're going to go out and support him, support her to become our president because Trump is worse. Really? Really?